Welcome to Metro Matters. I'm Mary Sitt. Metro is making its thousands of bus stops across the region high-tech. It's installing Bluetooth technology that will guide passengers to the correct bus stop or bus bay. Here to tell us more is Randy Frazier, Chief Technology Officer at Metro. Randy, thanks for being here.
Good morning.
Okay, so what is this Bluetooth technology that we're doing?
We have a project that we're doing right now, and it's to make our bus stops more accessible and to increase our customer service. And so that's going to use, they're called Bluetooth Low Energy Beacons.
Bluetooth Low Energy Beacons.
Yes, BLE beacons.
Okay.
So everyone has Bluetooth built into their phones.
We're used to the Bluetooth speakers?
Yes,
okay.
And so this is that technology, except it's low energy, so it uses less energy for the beacons and it uses less energy for your phones. And this is part of what's called Internet of Things, and that is taking sometimes physical objects and connecting those to the internet in some way to make your life more useful. So in this case, it's how do I find a bus stop? Or if I'm visually impaired, how do I find a bus stop, which is even more important.
Okay, so what we have here, and you brought a sample, this is actually the beacon. This little thing is called the beacon, is that right? And you install them on all the bus stops way at the top of the pole?
Yes, they have good adhesive on the back, and they'll be installed on all 9,000 plus bus stops, all of our transit centers, and our park and rides.
Okay. And so how does it work? You download the Trip app in your phone, and then what?
So people already have the Trip app. They'll get an update in the future, and we'll wait and install this code, and then it will just be in Trip app.
So you enter your destination, and then as you get closer to your destination, this thing would do three things. One of three things you can choose, right? You were telling me earlier.
Yes. So let's say that you're visually impaired.
Okay.
It will have a vibration mode, where as you get closer to the stop, when you're far away, it out of range, it might not vibrate at all. Okay. As you get closer, it will start vibrating slowly.
Your phone starts vibrating slowly.
Yes, and then as you get closer, it will speed up so that you're visually impaired, you know you're going in the correct direction. And then when you get right to the stop, it will have an alarm vibration. Now, in parallel to this, at the same time, you're going to have words on the screen for people that are not visually impaired, and we'll have audio.
It'll just say something like, you're getting close to your bus stop?
You're getting close to your bus stop,
okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty cool. And then the reason why it's important for a transit center is like at the downtown transit center, you have multiple bays, right?
Yes, so when we thought about the, what the problem was for visually impaired people, part of it's finding the bus stop. But then, especially for our transit centers, there are multiple bays. And right now, all of the trip planners, you put in where you are, you put in your destination, and it will tell you, go to the downtown transit center. Well, that's great, but there's bays A through H in the downtown transit center. It doesn't tell you which one to go to. So now for our visually impaired patrons and non-visually impaired patrons, when we do this update, you'll put your trip in, and it will tell you, go to the downtown transit center, Bay F.
That's great. And then it'll vibrate as you get closer to the correct bay. So if you're going in the wrong direction and you don't feel anything, turn around.
Yes, if you've gone in the wrong direction, and if it was vibrating when you started and you start walking in a certain direction and they get slower and then they stop, then you know you need to turn around and go in another direction.
Now, is any other transit agency doing this?
There are a few others. Actually, the latest one we just saw was Austin, and actually there was a representative from Austin when we were doing our proof of concept testing. They're at that stage right now. I think they're doing 16 individual bus stops in their proof of concept. We're a little bit further along because we're doing 9,000 plus bus stops, and we're doing advanced testing.
And right now you're doing testing just with the IT department, but you hope to have this rolled out and launched all at once when?
We're looking to launch in late summer or early fall. We're going to do another specific round of testings with members of the community because we found out a lot of stuff when we brought some people in. Like, for instance, that's where the vibrations came from, because we originally designed it and had you put your earphones in, and it could be audio, but either the buses sometimes could even drown out that, or especially for somebody that's visually impaired, they want to use their hearing. They do not. They need to paint a picture of their surroundings by listening and hearing everything going on around them. So that's why we went to the vibration patterns, so that they could still be free to.
Not have this voice in their ear. They can hear the environmental sounds.
They need to be able to hear the environmental sounds,
that's very interesting.
So it can be in their pocket, or they can be in their hand, and that way they have their full senses around them as far as the
And then
audio
plus
goes.
if somebody's hard of hearing too, they don't have to worry about another voice. If they're wearing a hearing aid
Yes.
or something, right, they can just feel the
They
vibration.
can just feel the vibration.
What so far of the people you're tested with, I'm sure you've had sight impaired people test it out with you. Have they said anything to you about what they like or don't like about it?
We got very good reactions from our initial test group, and we use that to design the app itself. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to listen to them. We're going to bring them back in now with the full network. We're going to do full ride, a full trip itinerary, and then we're going to get their feedback. You get their feedback, you make some improvements, and then we'll, when everything's ready, then we'll launch.
Now this only works with the Metro Trip app, right?
We're designing this, we didn't want to have yet another app. We didn't want it separate. We wanted to have one app for everyone and it to be fully inclusive and fully accessible. So this is part of our accessibility, making sure that our app is accessible and not having a separate application.
So this is really nice because it's using technology to make things easier for our passengers, right?
Yes.
Are there any other reasons though that why Metro is doing this, why this is important to Metro?
One of our core things is customer service, and whether you're visually impaired or not visually impaired, this is part of better customer service. Giving a person a more pinpoint destination to help them, especially if there's a lot of bays, that's going to help their customer service. We can have in the app, as part of the trip itinerary, let's say you wanted to go to sleep. It's a long ride to your stop. You can have the app vibrate and alarm you right before you're supposed to wake up.
That's great, because I tune out everything else and just fall asleep.
Yes.
Now, is it very difficult to put these on? Pretty simple. You just is it
It's
like
fairly
Velcro
simple.
on or some sort of heavy tape or
They
something?
have a very strong adhesive on the back, not on that one, but on this one there's a very strong adhesive on the back, and the crew can go out, a crew of 2 people can go out with a ladder, they clean off the spot, they stick it on there, make sure it's good and secure, and then that's it.
That's it. And these are all weatherproof, so it doesn't matter, water,
Yes,
rain.
these are, they're fully weatherproof, they're fully enclosed, you don't change the batteries, so they're rated in heat way hotter than even Houston, and as hot as it gets, way hotter than that, way colder than Houston ever gets, and the battery lasts somewhere around 6 years.
That's terrific. Well, I can't wait to try it out. Thank you so much, Randy.
You're welcome.
Coming up next, from buses to trains, we'll tell you how we're using Bluetooth technology to increase safety near our rail platforms. Don't go away.
Some people are always in a rush. Gotta run to the store. Forgot to walk the dog. Oops, another unexpected emergency. But sometimes we just need to put our foot down and stop. Be aware of your surroundings. A safety message from your friends at Metro.
The road grows longer each day as this never-ending battle wages on. Yet legend speaks of a place called El Dorado that can end this wretched battle once and for all. Because winter is...
Honey, El Dorado is that new Metro Park and Ride on 45 South. Want to win your battle? Take us there, so we don't waste the day in traffic.
Yes, dear. Discover El Dorado and other park and rides when you plan your trip at ridemetro.org.
Bluetooth technology is a wonderful tool, as all of us know who use Bluetooth earbuds or speakers. And while Metro is using this technology at its bus stops, we're also using it near our rail platforms. Here to explain more is Tim Kelly, Executive Vice President of Operations, Public Safety, and Customer Service. Tim, thanks for being with us.
Good, you're welcome.
Okay, so what is this technology that we're using around rail stations?
So we're committed to safety, and we're always looking for new and innovative ways to improve safety. Not only people on board the train, but bicyclists, pedestrians, motorists that operate around trains. And this is a tool that we're piloting to try to raise awareness that there's a train approaching.
Okay. So it's called BPAS, right? And what does that stand for?
BPAS is Bluetooth Pedestrian Alert System, and we're trying to alert pedestrians and bicyclists.
Now, right now we have a pilot program at 4 intersections. Can you tell me which intersections?
Sure, we have 4 locations, downtown at Main and Lamar, Main and Wheeler at the Wheeler Transit Center, at Sunset at Herman Park Rice U Station, and in the Medical Center at Dryden and Fannin Street there at the Dryden Station.
So we have something posted on a pole near this, at the rail platform itself, and then something on the train itself. Is that right?
Very, very simple technology, just like you mentioned, Bluetooth is everywhere. So we have a Bluetooth transmitter on each train, and it sends a signal to a receiver that's on a box at these locations. when it receives a signal that the train's approaching, it will announce Metro Rail approaching. Very audible and brings people's attention up.
Now, recently, the A&M's Texas Transportation Institute, right, did a survey of pedestrians walking around, and what were some of the results?
So interestingly, what we found is almost half the people thought the Bluetooth announcement was helpful and raised their awareness. They might not have been aware of the train until they heard the audible announcement. The other side of it that validates why we're working on this is almost half the people are not obeying the pedestrian crosswalk signals. So in addition to technology, we want to remind everybody, please observe the signals and cross when you get a walk signal.
Okay, so I wrote some stats down. 44% said it was very useful. That's pretty good. 45% said somewhat useful. 8% said not at all useful. So it seems like most people do find it useful to hear this extra announcement.
Yeah, and we're going to continue with the pilot and continue to fine tune it and look to from those measures and continue it again. And what do we do to expand it to improve safety everywhere along the rail alignment?
Okay, so eventually this BPAS technology will be incorporated into Metro's Trip app, right? So if you have it downloaded in your phone, it'll just tell you or vibrate and when a train is approaching?
That's the next phase of the project as we continue through this pilot and fine tune it. Then we're also working with Metro's IT department. How do we incorporate that with the Trip app? So if you've already got the Metro apps on your phone, then you may get a message or a vibration on your phone that when there's a train approaching and you're near the track.
So our Trip app will be very robust then. Not only will it vibrate or talk or tell us when we're approaching a bus stop, right? It'll also tell us when a train is approaching eventually.
And that's the audience. We're looking for those people that are using transit and they've already got the Trip app, and so you don't have to add something different on your phone. As we add that, that'll just be an upgrade and another safety feature.
Now, right now the technology is, you were explaining earlier, the Bluetooth sort of broadcasts everywhere. So the train is approaching, and it says the train is approaching. As the train leaves the intersection, it's still, the announcement can also go off?
Yeah, that's one of the challenges now and part of the pilot. And some people that are experienced it, they know that sometimes it's going off and there's not a train or it just went through. So we're working to try to refine the pilot and continue to narrow down that area when there's announcements, when there is, we want you to be aware when you're crossing.
So basically you have to re-engineer the technology to make it work like that?
So Bluetooth emitters, what we've learned is they're designed and the use is they're always broadcasting a signal. Well, we only want them to be broadcasting on the front end of the train that's moving forward, not the rear of the train. Train operators change the ends of the train depending on which direction they're going. So we're working to engineer a solution where we can turn that off on the rear end of the train. It's not broadcasting.
The announcement right now in our pilot is just in English, is that right?
The announcement is in English and Spanish, and we've actually done some human factor studies with the Texas Transportation Institute that it might be more effective to have the traditional train gong sound, like a gate arm when the gates go down and gong for a train. So we're looking at what's some of the evaluation and human factors issues, what's most effective in the long term.
Or they could do both, the gong and the announcement.
It might be a combination. We don't want it to become urban noise and blend into the background. The intent is really to raise awareness of safety around the track.
Okay, and what are some other things while we're doing this pilot that we can, be safer as we approach the train? What would you suggest as the top safety?
Our message is to stop, look, and listen. It's a pretty simple message. If you're around trains and the tracks, whether you're on the platform and you're leaving or you're crossing the track to board the train, or you're on a bicycle just crossing our track, we want you to be aware, follow the warning signs, the do not walk, the walk signals, and just be aware. And simple things we all learn in kindergarten, look both ways before you cross the street.
And take those earbuds out when you're walking.
Earbuds are a problem
right?
as well. We all, in life, we see a lot of people looking down at their phones, texting when they're crossing the street with earbuds in. But just take a second to make sure it's safe when you cross the street.
Okay. Tim, thank you so much for the interview, and
You
we're
bet.
looking forward to this Bluetooth technology in our phones.
Thanks a lot.
That's all for this edition of Metro Matters. Be sure to join the conversation on our blog at ridemetro.org. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. I'm Mary Sitt. Thanks for watching.